welcome back to this, actually not welcome back, but welcome to this podcast show entitled But First, Our Mental Health. This is the trailer of this podcast, and I just want to introduce myself to you, the purpose of this podcast, why I decided to do my own podcast, and what will be the content of this podcast, and also to get to know more about me, because I will be the host of this podcast. Of course, the name of the podcast, as you probably know already, is But First, Our Mental Health. And the reason why I made that as my title is because of the reason that here in the Philippines, I'm not sure with the other countries, but I know that not only the Filipino citizens are suffering from mental health illnesses and having problems in terms of taking care of their mental health, but here in the Philippines, taking care of your mental health is kind of a taboo thing, because having a mental illness connotes to a person to be crazy, and we all know that crazy means negative. It has a negative meaning here in our country. That's why not a lot of us wants to discuss about mental health, aside from it's very boring, but it has a negative meaning. Or let's say, for example, when other Filipino citizens heard about mental health, the first thing that comes into their mind, usually, maybe not all the time, but usually, crazy. The word crazy. In Filipino, in Tagalog dialect, that's baliw. And as a psychology student, I want to give knowledge to those person who are very curious about their mental health and wanting to know more about their mental health in order for them to take care of their own properly. And with that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Maria Josa Yvonie F. Lunas. It's a very long name, I know. I think for this podcast, I would like you to call me Yvonie, because that's the nickname that I've been using most of the time, if not all the time of my life. So, I am studying at Asia Pacific College under the program of B.A or A.B Psychology. Actually, I am planning to transfer in UP Diliman, but let's see what will happen in the future. I plan to stay in APC for only 1 to 2 years, and then after that I will transfer in UP Diliman. And when I transfer, or once I transferred in UP Diliman, I'll switch my program to political science, because I want to become an attorney someday. I'm very confused on what kind or what type of attorney do I want to be in the future, but I know that I want to be a lawyer or an attorney in the future. And because of that, my first choice of pre-law program is political science. Second is psychology, because my advisor in grade 12 senior high school came from UP Diliman, and she also wants to become a lawyer or an attorney someday. She graduated under the program of psychology. I forgot if it's BA or BS. Because of her, I realized how important psychology is. In psychology, you can study the behavioral patterns of human beings, and being an attorney, it's essential for us aspiring attorneys or lawyers to know how to identify the behavioral patterns of a person, because it will help us in terms of the case that we're going to handle in the future. So I'm a first year college student, and I know that I don't have any in-depth knowledge in terms of mental health, because I'm not yet a professional. And I forgot to tell you that I also want to become a licensed psychologist and then attorney someday. Because I am still a college student, don't worry, because I will do my best to research every topic that we'll tackle here in this podcast. That's why I plan to actually upload 1 episode per month, because I have ACADS and YouTube stuff, and yes, I am a small YouTuber. I have a YouTube channel that's more on the makeup or cosmetic side. So I have a lot of things on my plate, and I need to be realistic in terms of planning the things that I need to do, because it will help me sooner or later in producing good quality outputs. So that's a little background of myself. Also, I plan to have guests because I don't want this podcast to be just focused on my own perspective. I want to show the other perspective of other people, because I might be experiencing the same thing as they do, but we have different thoughts about different situations that we are experiencing at the same time. And when it comes to opinion, since this is all about mental health, I'm really going to be careful in terms of producing opinions, because hindi ganun kadali maglabas ng opinion, specifically if you're going to think about may mga audience na hindi ganun kalawak yung kaalaman dun sa pinag-uusapan na paksa. That's why I really have to be careful in terms of giving opinions, and because of that, formulate my opinions based on facts. So, hindi lang siya basta sa experience ko. Of course, I'll base it more on my experience, but also more on facts, more on research. And that's it for this trailer. I hope you will enjoy this podcast, and I do help you guys with your mental health, because that's the aim of this podcast, is to give information with regards to your mental health and how can you actually take care of your mental health with different situations that we are facing right now. As always, stay healthy and safe, and have a great afternoon or morning, or have a great day, or have a great night, and see you on the first episode.